once again for joining our podcast, The Rape of Innocence, and how the media is influencing the minds of our children. Today's session, we will be talking about the toy industry and how the toys that your children play with are influenced by the culture and how they in turn influence the minds of our children. The toys for girls are colorfully matched with bright pastels and various shades of pink. So we know most toys, especially dolls or stuffed animals, cars, houses, anything pertaining to a girl, that is really girly, tend to be in some shade of pink or pastel, maybe a yellow, a neon green, or something on that order. And of course for boys, it would be some form or shade of blue, turquoise, brown, neutral colors, anything like that. All children's departments display trendy outfits, makeup, shoes, and accessories of what the ultimate fashionista should look like. And for the boys, there are a variety of cars, trucks, bikes, swords, bulky action figures, and gun lines. Guns that line the walls and aisles with blue, brown, and black colors, encouraging violence and aggression. Now, Mattel, which is one of the oldest and largest toy making industries, has now, at this particular time, they introduced a line of lingerie for Barbie, and they also redesigned her body to showcase an even sexier doll. At one point in time, Barbie was specifically showing the different professions that women could do, and was a working woman and could take care of the home and that kind of thing. But now Mattel has decided to redesign her to make her look sexy. Okay, and keep that in mind. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But soon, Mattel ran into stiffer competition. A more trendy, fashion-conscious doll was now on the scene, called the Bratz. They were, at the time, a highly sexualized doll who wore extremely high heels, heavy eye makeup, very full lips, extremely thin bodies, and very tight fitting clothes. So another line that the Bratz also manufactured in 2015, they came out with a line called the Monster High Dolls, who were even more sexualized than their original dolls, and they were a lot more edgy. They wore thongs, they wore fishnet stockings, mini skirts, and other outfits which emulated the ideal anorexic looking fashion model. And as a result, they dethroned Barbie as the number one iconic doll in Toyland. Now, the Bratz became a media empire by selling over 4 million DVDs and reaching number one on Billboard's children's chart. So thanks to the aggressive campaigning of the grassroots organizations of CCFC, which stands for Campaign for a Commercial-Free Childhood, and DADS, which is the acronym for Daddies and Daughters. Another toy company, which has been around for a long time, called Hasbro, had been in the works with the former girl group, the Pussycat Dolls, in making a toy line, a doll line, displaying the members of that group. But because of these organizations, they decided not to release the sale of those dolls. And one main reason was because of how the singing group was portrayed. They were dressed very provocatively, and they sang very highly eroticized lyrics. Now, our children have no business knowing anything about any erotica or dressing provocatively. Dolls are the interest of children at the beginning, ages of, I would say, at least 3 to 4 years old. And really, what business would a child really have in playing with a pussycat doll? And of course, they're going to be advertising some of their songs and dressing provocatively. That would be an image that I would not want my child to be a part of. Let's just be honest. In 2007, the toy company Tesco created and marketed a peekaboo pole dancing kit. Yes, I did say pole dancing kit. That came with a garter belt and play money for putting money into the belt. Now, if you didn't guess, this is strictly a setup for teaching children how to act like they're at a strip club and playing with a stripper pole. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? Why would I think that a stripper pole would be appropriate for a child to play with? It's not appropriate. Well, thankfully, not long after it was actually introduced and put on the market, it was snatched as quickly as it hit the shelves. Unfortunately, even some of children's most adored stuffed animals, by the way, and stuffed dolls have gone under the knife. And they have even gotten a sexier look. They've gotten a makeover. Check this out. For instance, My Little Pony, you remember the stuffed animal My Little Pony? Rainbow Bright and Strawberry Shortcake. They have all been given the longer and slimmer look with full eyes, full lips, long hair, fuller eyelashes, and high heels. The same agenda as the dolls have been given. It's the same type of sexualization. It's the same checklist that the high fashion models they portray the same thing. They're keeping up. They're keeping the same thing going. So as it is in the culture, so it is portrayed with the toys that our children play with, and they become indoctrinated with, oh, I have to look sexy. Oh, my hair has to be on point. My clothes have to be on point. I have to have full lips. My hair has to be long. I have to have these eyelashes going from here to there. I have to wear high heels. I have to look like a certain person. When is it going to end? There's nothing wrong with the way our children look. Yes, now I agree that our children do need structure. Our children need discipline. Our children need to eat healthy. But by the same token, with the display of the different toys that we're giving them, we're sending them the message that they're not good enough the way that they are. They have to change. They have to look a certain way. They have to present themselves the way the culture says that they have to present themselves in order to feel important, in order to be important, in order to be popular. And that's not true. They are perfect the way they are. They are fine the way they are. God created them that way specifically because He wants them to be that way. And we shouldn't force anything differently on them other than to be themselves. He created them to be that way for a purpose. He has a purpose and a plan for them. And whatever that is, we need to be finding that out so we can make sure that they fulfill that purpose. But what if everyone was the same? Everyone looked the same. Everyone talked the same, walked the same, wore the same thing. It would be a boring world. Come on. Diversity is what we need. Diversity is what makes the world awesome and wonderful. Think about it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for the okie doke. Let's continue. Okay, now there's an award that is given to companies and voted in by parents called the Toady Awards. And that's an acronym that stands for Toys Oppressive and Destructive to Young Children. And it actually is an award given because it's considered to be the worst toy of the year. Well, in 2014, there was an app that was created by AT&T Uverse for children ages 0 to 5 years old. And it was an app. Apparently it was not baby friendly, and it was voted the worst toy of the year back in 2014. Another toy that was nominated was called the Mini Mall. And although it was said to be made to develop kids' creativity and interactivity, parent Robert E. Brooks says that it is masqueraded as a dollhouse of sorts that instead encourages consumerism and brand identification. So in other words, it keeps our children engulfed in a circle of spending money, always having to have the latest in high fashion, or the next greatest gimmick or thing that comes out. They have to have it. They can't be without it, regardless of how much it costs. And I mean, that can lead into a lifelong debt if you really think about it. If all you do is consume, and you feel like that you have to have the latest of everything as soon as it comes out, or you have to pre-order it because it's coming out as new and you have to have it. You can't wait. You have to have that self-gratification. You got to have it now. That can create some major future issues, financial issues for you. So we need to teach our children the value of money, the value of saving, and the value of not always trying to get what you want. It's not about getting what you want, it's about getting what you need. Realistically, it is more about building the mindset of our children on becoming lifelong shoppers. Now, a study conducted with 6-year-old girls discovered that they desired to be more like the dolls who wore sexy clothes than those who were appropriately dressed. They believed that wearing clothes like the dolls would make them fit in with the popular crowd. And that is with the boys and the girls. So that's not surprising, because most of the time, the more popular girls and boys, they dress trendy. They have the latest fashion. They have the latest phones. They have the latest computer, iPad, latest electronics. Whatever is new on the market, they normally have it. So to keep in step with the culture, I also want to make mention of this. Mattel, back in September of 2019, launched the first ever gender inclusive doll targeting children 10 years old and under, which I also found to be the most impressionable age of a child's life. Now, this line of dolls, called Creatable World, are genderless and come fashioned with skirts, shorts, pants, shirts, wigs, shoes, and hats. So children can dress them up as a boy, a girl, or both. Now, someone by the name of Monica Dreger, however she pronounces her name, who is head of research at Mattel, says that they designed the dolls to help guide parents who consider their children to be gender binary or fluid. Now, first and foremost, I want to say that if I need some type of advisement or guidance regarding my child, being that they consider themselves to be gender binary or fluid, why would I need a director of research at Mattel to help guide me about my child? I think I should be seeking the advice of a psychologist, a psychiatrist, or a therapist, not the director of research. I don't think that would be something that I would do. I know it wouldn't be something that I would do. I don't need the director of research at Mattel to tell me how to raise my child. Now that I don't need. No. I'm going to the professionals. So I wouldn't even take her advice. She doesn't know anything about telling me. She doesn't know anything about me or my child. So why would I go to her for advice and lean to her advice about what to do with my child regarding gender fluidity, and by her playing with dolls, what does that tell me? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. This is considered sexualization. This is strictly sexualization because it indoctrinates the children, tries to normalize gender fluidity. And there is no such thing as gender fluidity. God created male and female, one or the other. He did not create, when I get up, this is how I feel, so this is what I consider myself. No. God created the heavens and the earth, and He created everything in it. So, gender fluidity is just something, it's been around for a long time, but it's something that's it's a misnomer. There's no truth to it. God does not make mistakes. Anyway, moving forward, as I stated before, this is also sexualization. This is the impetus of the LGBTQIAP+ agenda to change the blueprint of the family as God intended it, which is a man and a woman. 2 men and 2 women cannot produce a child. It takes an egg and a sperm. If they teach our children early anything other than what God says, including toy industries, which support the LGBTQIA agenda, we may have a struggle on our hands with convincing them, our children, of what the truth really is. There are a group of people who are feeding our children this foolish narrative, attempting to create sexual identity ambiguity in them. Now, this will cause them to question their purpose for being born. We cannot willingly allow others to influence our children to be something different other than what God made them to be. But it is our job, parents. It is our jobs, grandparents. It is our jobs, aunties and uncles. It is our job, responsible adults, concerned adults, to find out what their purpose is from God, so we can train them up in the way that they should be, and with godly morals, a good character, and integrity. So as I close this session for today, I want to thank you once again for joining us. The rape of innocence and how the media is influencing the minds of our children. And I would hope that you would take the information that was given today and that you would take it to heart. And then you would even take it to prayer and cover your children and the children that you have influence over. Maybe even your neighborhood children, or just children in general, even if you don't have children. I thank you for taking the time to consider us. Please don't make it your last time. We do create podcasts every 2 weeks. So I will see you again in 2 weeks. Again, I am Lisa Thomas, and thank you for joining the Rape of Innocence. God bless you.